Hey, just wanted to come here to remind you that the physical version of my comic Lost Hearts is available to order on my Etsy shop right now. The link is in the description, and you can watch this video to find out more information about it. Okay, bye! Hello everybody, it's Strawberry here, and today we have another chill speed paint video. This one featuring our boy Kaeya, or my boy, he's my boy. I wanted to do a speed paint video I wanted to do a bit of fan art for Kaeya. Initially, I was gonna post this and make this on his birthday, which is November 30th. That did not happen, so we're doing it now instead. And I actually drew the fan art quite a bit after, because I also forgot it was the 30th, and then that never happened. But that's okay. One day maybe, if I'm not out of the Genshin community yet, I'll try to do that. But yeah, for this video, or this artwork, I wanted to draw Kaeya in his alternate skin, the one that you see on the right of the screen right now, because I very much like that design, and I only drew it once for the color wheel challenge, and I wanted to not just draw him with his normal, or with the normal colors. I wanted to go ahead and try drawing this in his Strawberry Kaeya look. For those who don't know, in the Genshin Impact community, some artists who draw Kaeya will opt for drawing an alternate version of Kaeya. That's basically just him with a pink color palette instead of blue, and many have dubbed that the strawberry version of Kaeya. I like making strawberry themed art, so this was a natural fit. And I did actually draw him before in my sketchbook once, but I wanted to do it again because I love pink. I love the color a lot, and I wanted to draw him with those pink colors in this skin of his, because I don't think anyone has done that before. If they have, I'm not sure, but I wanted to try to do that with his skin and give him a nice pink color palette. This is basically just an excuse for me to draw my favorite boy with my favorite colors. But yeah, for the line art obviously took a bit because it's a Genshin design, but because I'm used to drawing Kaeya at this point, it really wasn't too bad. And I also was debating on what hairstyle to give him for this. I decided I originally was just going to do his normal braid, but I also decided, since this was already very much like a self-indulgent piece, that I would draw him with a high ponytail. I don't do that until later on, but I just like drawing Kaeya with a long pony or a high ponytail. Then again, I think I just like drawing high ponytails in general, because I have a lot of character designs with high ponytails. It's gotten to the point where I try not to give my characters high ponytails unless it makes sense. Like, the reason why I didn't give my character Kaichi a high ponytail until later was because I was trying my best not to have yet another character with a high ponytail, but it didn't work. I also decided to give the high ponytail like a little braid in it. I was debating on how to draw that, but I did decide to keep it in, just as in the little background. I did keep the braid for a little bit, or like the normal braid for a little bit, because I was still debating. But in the end, I just went with the high ponytail with the braid in it. This would also mean that Kaeya has a lot longer hair than he does in game. I'm pretty sure it's not actually super long, but I get to draw him how I want. Okay, I already diverged from drawing him how he usually is a lot. He has a fang. I make his eye a lot more feminine. I make his whole body shape a lot more feminine, honestly. But after I finally figured out what hairstyle I wanted to do, which actually ended up being like a mix of both the ponytail and the braid, I adjusted the line art a little bit and got to work on the colors. Now, the way I did the colors was that because I wasn't sure what values of pink to go with, I actually colored him in with his normal colors first. Then after I finished coloring him in with his normal colors, I went back in and changed the values of everything to pink. Now, I know I could have probably done this easily with adjustment layers, or I could have skipped coloring him in with his normal colors first altogether, but I did it this way because I don't think ahead, and that's just how it goes. But yeah, I was also debating whether I wanted to keep the gold, because another concept with kind of the pink Kaeya is that he's a little bit of the opposite version, although I haven't really seen anyone play around with like his personality being the opposite. But I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep gold as his accent or maybe do like a silver, because when I think opposite of gold, I immediately think of silver. But I don't quite remember at the moment if I changed that, because right now it's just the normal colors playing out. But yeah, it's coloring him in went about how it usually does with a Gijin character. So I think I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, and I'll be back shortly once the rest of this part of the speed paint plays out. And now we're at the point to where I'm deciding on his colors. I had to grab some reference online because there's a very specific color that people use for Kaeya's hair, so I went online real quick to get the reference for that. And then I gave him a hair fade, because I do. I also usually just give him a hair fade anyway with a slightly different version of his normal color, so I did that here. And yeah, coloring in everything with his normal colors actually did make figuring out what colors I wanted to use for his clothes a little easier, because I already knew what the values were going to be, and I just basically just adjusted the color slider to be the color I wanted, and I ended up really liking it. So now we're on to the eye. Now I keep his eye pink here for a little bit, but I actually end up changing it later on. I'll talk about that when I get to it, but I do actually end up changing it, and I'm working on the background a little bit because I had no idea what I want for the background. I knew I wanted him to be sitting on something and leaning on something, and at first I thought of like he's leaning on like the bar at the tavern, but I wasn't quite sold on that idea, so I just put in some really basic flat colors and just started on rendering instead. I normally don't like to work on rendering until I have a really good idea of what I want the background to be, but I got a little impatient with this. I really didn't know what I wanted to do with the background, so I just went ahead and started rendering him. And I figured if things change with the environment that I need to change in his coloring, I can do that easily. One tip that I have with at least my rendering process is I usually try to stick to two colors, the shading color and the highlight color, and I always include those on separate layers. The shading layers all have their own layers, and the glow layers have all their own layers, so I can easily alpha lock the layer if I need to and go back and change the color. One thing I also decided to do, which was just like a little cute detail, was add some strawberries in his highlights, just for a little extra cuteness. And then the rest of the rendering went fine. I was a little nervous while rendering him. Like I said, I don't like rendering the character without having a good idea of what the environment's going to be first. But I figured, rendering is always a lot more fun for me. And yes, I did forget to draw the blush again. One of these days, I'll actually start remembering to give him blush before the rest of the rendering process. I also was trying to adjust his nose because it didn't look right. It took me a while to get his nose right. But yeah, and I forgot to give him makeup, so I had to include that. Lots of cute makeup. We love that. Is this all canon to his character? No, but I don't care. Yeah, once I got the makeup in, I continued on rendering. It was very fun to render him though, because it was very much the colors that I like using. a dark pink and a light yellow for the highlights. Colors that I'm very comfortable using, especially because when I was working on this, I think I had like finished working on like several very oceany water blue artworks, and that's definitely not in my wheelhouse. I don't like rendering water or drawing water, and I just did several drawings featuring a lot of water, so this was sort of like a comfort piece. It was like, oh my god, so much water. I need to draw pink and I need to draw Kaeya, and that was pretty much what this was. And yeah, coloring in the jewels, I tried keeping the highlights of the jewels separate from everything else, and adding in the final touches for the rendering of him. Towards the end here, I also decided to add in more strawberries into his hair, and yeah, just adding a lot more glow effects. Now I am so sorry to say, I completely forgot to record me rendering his eye. I'm so sorry. I know a lot of you like seeing how I render the eyes and draw the eyes, but I forgot to do that for this one. I'm so sorry. But as you can tell, I changed his eye color. Instead of doing pink, I decided to make it green, because if he's going to be Strawberry Kaeya, he might as well have a nice green eye. And I did this primarily because there was going to be a lot of pink in this, and there was no way the focus of the drawing was going to be towards his face if I didn't make that eye green. Now at this point too, with the background, I finally kind of figured out what I wanted to do. I did go ahead and go with the bar tavern thing, and I decided to add in some strawberry lights. So I made these quick little glow strawberry lights, which are very reminiscent of another strawberry drawing that I did of my character Lai, where I think I drew these exact same strawberry lights, maybe a little different. And here I'm also adding like a slapdash kind of job at rendering the background, adding in some dapple-like effects, which I actually really like how I made the dapple-like effects. I used a watercolor brush and just dotted in some color, and then did the same thing with an airbrush. I'll have to remember that for future artworks with more like dapple-y light. And yeah, I'm trying to still figure out, because I wanted to at some point to include like these strawberry string lights with a strawberry brush, and I don't remember if I figured out how to do it. I might have omitted them altogether from the picture because there was already a lot going on. Yeah, finally finished up the background. It was super simple because I decided to just make it very simple. Adjusted Kaeya's color scheme, gave him a little bit of rim light and that glow effect, and yes, did add more strawberries. I'm going a bit crazy with this one. Strawberry isn't even my favorite fruit, but it's cute, so it's fine. And yeah, that was pretty much it for this piece. I did decide to add a little title next to him because there wasn't much going on next to him, and I thought that worked well. And yeah, that was it for this piece. Thank you for watching this speed paint. Again, I'm sorry for forgetting to record the eye. I didn't hit pause on or unpause on my screen recorder, and it skipped past that. I'm so sorry. But yeah, this was just a really fun piece to work on because it's Kaeya and it's pink, and those are I love that. Yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed this video. If you like it, you can go ahead and like it, maybe even subscribe. Wow, you can do that. And you can also check out my comics in the link below, as well as my art shop. And like I mentioned before, on my art shop now, you can get the my first ever physical comic book, which is the physical copy of Lost Hearts. You can get that now on my art shop. If you order it, you can also get a pack of stickers that I designed. And yeah, I'm so excited for that still. If you want to check that out, that would be I would super appreciate that. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!